Alright people, this is a two-headed giant game featuring my Nin the Pain Artist deck. For the complete deck, let's go to premtgo.com, look up my article series Conquering Commander, and I should have a list, or a link to the list in the video description as well. When I joined this game, I didn't really take into consideration that Nin is a little bit unfair in two-headed giant, specifically because you can target your teammates' creatures and help them draw as well. Didn't really come up in this game, but it's something to keep in mind. So if you really want to like do a goofy Nin deck specifically for two-headed giant commander, I mean, it seems like it'd be an interesting idea to me. All right, so let's take a look at my teammate first. My teammate is playing Prime Speaker Zegana, but it's actually a snake tribal deck. If you look down at his hand right here, you'll see a bunch of snakes with some counter spells and stuff like that. This guy is actually, he's got a YouTube channel as well. I will put a link to that channel, and you guys can check it out. He has a bunch of two-headed giant commander games on there. Our opponents are the Mimeoplasm, who will take advantage of graveyards all around. So we got to watch out for the Mimeoplasm. And then Sigarda, host of Herons. The problem with Sigarda is I'm weak to flyers in my deck, and the hexproof is also a problem as well. The sacrificing thing doesn't really hurt me, but just having a big hexproof flyer is a pain in my ass. All right, my hand unfortunately is up here, and got to kind of maneuver around so we can see things a little bit. But I've got 2 lands and a signet, and it would be a little dicey to keep this hand, just because if for some reason the signet gets blown up, I'd be kind of screwed. I mean, I would have a Rootwater Thief and Vandal Blast, but I think I'm pretty sure I sent it back. Yeah, I did. Okay, and I go to my teammate sent his hand back as well. A much better hand of 4 lands plus Steam Augury, which is a fun card. I liked this card. And Tezzeret and Glenolander Archmage. So this is a much better hand for me. My teammate also has Oroki Eggwatcher and Shizuko, which unfortunately is a problem because it goes me, then him, then the opponents. The opponents, I think, actually have... Actually, I'm not sure. Oh, no, it goes the other way around. Sorry. So it goes me, and then Sigarda gets the first turn mana vault. So I'd be able to use the mana if I really wanted it, but then both our opponents would get it as well. I play Rootwater Thief, because it's always nice to see what's in opponents' grave or decks. Gilded Lotus for Sigarda. Mindstone for the Mimeoplasm. And nothing for my... Alright, stop. Okay, so we're going to slow down so that we can actually take a look at what's in this Sigarda deck. And, yes, I will pay the 2 mana. Alright, so this Sigarda deck's a little different than a lot of stuff. It's got a lot of fat beats, like Achroma and Blazing Archon and stuff like that. It's got Pariah, which is interesting, and Seedborn Muse. Plus stuff like Silence. And then Hymn of Rebirth. Seal of Primordium. Wrath. It also has like the green Myojin. Yeah, here he is. So I like, and Doubling Cube, which is interesting. It's not your typical like green-white control deck. So I like that, and props to this guy for playing something outside the box. I grabbed Vorinclex because I just don't want to deal with Vorinclex. So we'll stick this over here just because I think I hit him more than once and I steal some other stuff as well. There's Sigarda and Lotus Petal. Like, Lotus Petal in a Sigarda deck is interesting for sure. There's Oblivion Stone from the Mimeoplasm. So now the object, that thing that I want to do the most is I want him to blow up the Mimeoplasm sooner rather than later. I can't attack with the Thief. Well, I guess no, I can't because I can only give it flying. And Sigarda has flying. So I basically lay a land and do nothing. But I'm planning on Steam Auguring before my turn. The Mimeoplasm is interested enough to put a fate counter on the Lotus. So that's good, right? And then I go ahead and Steam Augury. So here's my pile. Well, I think I chose the Mimeoplasm. I've got Teleria West, Mercurial Chemistry, Scalding Tarn, Metamorph, and Fabricate. And my piles... Oh, you can't see it. But he basically puts the Chemistry, the Fabricate, and Teleria West in my graveyard. I get Scalding Tarn and Metamorph. Alright. And, oh, okay. That's right. Sigarda, Source of Plowshare, my Thief. So the Thief's gone. There's not going to be anything new going away from the Thief. People don't like getting hit by the Thief. It's awesome. My teammate doesn't really do a whole lot right now. I go ahead and throw the Archmage out there. It's one of my few flying blockers. I could, if I wanted to, play the Metamorph copying Sigarda, but I held off on that, and I don't remember why specifically. Necrotic Ooze, because I have Mercurial Chemister in my graveyard, I can just tap to draw cards now. My teammate makes a little snake. Then he plays Sakura Tribe Scout and Grass Cradle and Seed the Land, which is awesome. Anytime anybody plays a land, you get a snake token. And then he sacks his fetch land to create a snake token. You know what? I'm going to put my hand over here. He's going to end up drawing a ton of cards too, though. So I play Metamorph, and he oblations my Archmage. So I'd rather have the Archmage stick around so that I can counter anything the Mimeoplasm guy does. So I counter the oblation with the Archmage. And then, oh, that's the best part. He Ghostways his own Sigarda. So I'm like, oh, darn it, right? But what I do is I use the Metamorph to copy the Gilded Lotus. And then I play a land and I get a snake or two. So now I've got mana at least. And I can play some of this stuff next turn. Oh, and I play Urabrask, so that the snakes that they make come into play tapped. And I attack with everything, because everything has haste. Sigarda comes back out. And Sigarda has Spirit Loop on her. Nothing I can do about that. I take the hit. So any damage I do basically gets nullified. He's drawing cards and puts a counter on Sigarda. The fate counter. I'm like, you know what? I really just want him to freaking blow up the Oblivion Stone. So he plays Simic Guild, or he's just making tons of snakes. And there's Fecundity. Okay, Fecundity is important because now when the O Stone gets blown, we're going to be able to draw a bunch of cards. Which is nice. I like that. So I draw Mana Crypt, and I decide to attack. For some reason, I only attack with 2. I should have attacked with the snake as well. I could have held the Archmage back just in case. And then I play Niv Mizzet, and I'm like, okay, this should, please, for the love of God, make him pop the Oblivion Stone. Sigarda attacks. I go ahead and block because I know the Oblivion Stone is probably going to get popped here. And I draw a card. Okay, this is probably a little bit of a problem because I get to draw a card off of Fecundity, and I use Niv Mizzet to kill the Mimeo Snake, which was dumb because now he gets to draw a card. Whatever. And then he plays a Chroma, and I'm like, no, I don't want a Chroma. Right? So I decide to counterspell it. Because other than that, like, who knows if he would basically, like, try and put a counter on a Chroma. But it means that the Mimeoplasm can, you know, play a Chroma or become a Chroma next turn. He draws cards again. And here it is. Finally, the Oblivion Stone gets popped. So I draw a card off of Niv Mizzet into Vandal Blast. And so we're going to draw a bunch of cards here. Snake form. Ribbon snake, which is interesting. Stroke of Genius and the promo Lotus Cobra. Okay, so now we've got a bunch of lands, a bunch of cards. The Mimeoplasm. Oh no, he taps out to cast Stroke of Genius on himself. And I think he's hoping for Reliquary Tower, but he doesn't get it. So first he plays Lotus Cobra. And then he's gonna sacrifice some land, or fetch land and Rampant Growth, and he's just building up mana with the Lotus Cobra, and plays Steely Resolve. And he's holding back stuff so that he can Mystic Snake if he needs to, or Croson Grip. So I go ahead and play Mana Crypt and Swiftfoot Boots and Goblin Welder. And the interesting thing now, well, it's not interesting yet. Okay, so there's Tezzeret. There's an Enlightened Tutor for Privileged Position. Oh yeah, that's right. This is one of my early games, and I forgot. I used Tezzeret to search for something that costs 0, but I forgot to put the artifact lands in my deck, and I already have Mana Crypt out there, so I basically do nothing with Tezzeret that turn. And then I use Vandal Blast to get rid of the Gilded Lotus, so that he'll have more difficulty casting this stuff. He plays Vesuva, copying the Cradle, and then Spirit Loop, and then Sigarda. So what I do is I use the Goblin Welder, which had haste, to sacrifice my Mana Crypt to bring Phyrexian Metamorph back. And then I use my Metamorph to copy Sigarda, and there's my flying blocker. And he still gains some life. So they're like at 80 still, which is a pain in the ass. And then there's Sakura Tribe Elder. Mimeoplasm tries to Damnation. No, we like our current board state right now. So Mystic Snake comes out and gets rid of the Damnation. Alright. So Lotus Cobra gives him some mana. And he does nothing. So this time I search up Soul Ring, and then I play Lighthouse Chronologist. And I level him up to like level 5 or something like that. But with the Mystic Snake out there now, and the Metamorph in my graveyard, I can sacrifice one of my artifacts, and that's why I played the Journeyer's Kite, to bring the Metamorph back, copying the snake and countering anything that comes out. So Sigarda plays Privileged Position. Fine, not too concerned about that right now. There's a Mana Crypt from the Mimeoplasm. And then Decree of Pain. I'm like, no! And so first, actually my teammate Cryptic commands that Decree. We're still not really doing a whole lot of like damage. So he uses Alchemist Refuge to play his Elder and Shizuko so that he can use the Shizuko mana. And so he plays Mana Crypt, and then Prime Speaker, and Coiling Oracle, which gets Nykthos, and then Mold Adder. And then he attacks with his team. Alright, fine. He's basically saving up for a huge Blue Sun Zenith right now. So on my turn, I basically fully level up the Lighthouse Chronologist. And then I play Nin finally. And then I equip Nin with the Greaves, but the Greaves gets Croson Gripped, which is sad times. So fine, I use my Journeyer's Kite, and then I play the Transreliquat, and I use Tezzeret. My gameplay space is just kind of to get Basilisk Caller. That's right, so that I can kill off anything that the Mimeoplasm player plays. All right, so Sigarda forgets that the extra Shizuko mana means that she can play her commander. Because Lighthouse Chronologist is fully leveled, I get another turn. So I go ahead and use Nin to draw 4 cards by dinging my Chronologist. But it's all land. Maybe it was 3 cards, I don't know. And then I use my Journeyer's Kite to get another land. And then I untap my artifacts with Tezzeret to grab another land. So basically all I'm trying to do is like weed all the land out of my deck. And I attack with the Chronologist again. Get nothing. So now it's the Mimeoplasm player's turn. And he tries to play his commander. That gives Mold Adder a counter. But I'm going to counter it. I sacrifice my Basilisk Caller to get the Metamorph. He still has enough mana to cast it again. But, you know, this way it's slowing him down a little bit. What he does do is he uses a Chroma and like one of the other creatures. So now the Chroma is big and hasty. So she attacks, but that's what Snake Form is for. Makes it small, and then he throws these guys in front of her and kills her. And then he basically gets a huge Blue Sun Zenith. It's a fun little snake deck, actually. I like it. Oh, he conceded. Forgot about that. He conceded because he said that he couldn't get around the counter spells that we were playing. And admittedly, like this Phyrexian Metamorph with Mystic Snake thing is pretty good. Because what I could do next turn is kill off the Mystic Snake. Oh yeah, so my teammate draws a ton of cards. I use the Transreliquat to copy the Soul Ring. I kill off the Mystic Snake, and then I can do the same trick with the Goblin Welder. Actually, I forget to kill the Mystic Snake, and instead I kill... Oh, I don't kill the Chronologist. I just ding him for a couple, so that I draw some more cards. This game is pretty much done at this point. I mean, Sigarda is going to have a hard time taking both of us on. There's the Wormcoil Engine. Just something else I can sacrifice. And then I'm just trying to get lands out of my deck now with Journeyer's Kite. Oh yeah, and I sacrificed the Kite to get the Greaves. And then I put the Greaves on the Wormcoil Engine, and then I attack. Yeah, and then he concedes. So anyways, a couple of interesting decks with the snakes that my buddy was playing here. And then, yeah, so there we go. Two-Headed Giant. Hope you guys enjoyed that.